welcome to the football podcast for Friday, 15th of May. I'm joined by Sergeant Theo Van Zyl to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the football world right now.
Thank you, Adam Galau. It is a pleasure to be here, and without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, with the return of football in the Bundesliga in a day's time, we will have plenty to talk about then, but let's start here now with the present. So we are going to be starting off with transfer rumors right now, and we will actually be starting with a manager, one of the best out there, Pep Guardiola, who has been linked to his former club, where he was arguably the best manager in the time of his career. He is linked to going back to Barcelona. Theo, your thoughts?
Well, it was said that if Pep Guardiola was to be elected the club president, then he would also be chosen as the club manager. How that would happen, we are not sure. But if it does, that would be extraordinary news. A huge blow for Man City. Pep had his first season under at Man City. It was a bit of a struggle. You know, we saw them in third place, I believe, to Chelsea in the 2017-16 season. Then they did go on a 2-title winning streak in the 2 following years, and now they're second place to Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp's high-flying Reds have been outstanding this season. So, how will he juggle president and manager? I don't know, but we know he's a very resilient person, and all the best for him if this does go through.
But I mean, we've seen this kind of cycle. I would like to call it the Pep cycle, kind of, where the first season he comes in, builds the team. His team doesn't necessarily win the Champions League or whatnot, but he's not concerned. He knows he's just prepping his team for better things to come. Second season, he takes the league by storm, wins the league. The third season, he typically does the same thing. Towards the fourth and fifth season, he somewhat fizzles out, and the great stat about him that he has on his side is that he has never been fired. It's always been his choice to resign. So I think it's just the way he pushes his players that means he can't stay as long as some other managers would.
Yeah, and I think
at Barcelona, we've seen it at City, we've seen it at Munich. What next for him?
Yeah, I think there's a pattern here, and that pattern being the first season, it's not really about the success, it's just about the building blocks for him to get to glory next season. He's thinking about the long term. So in that first season, we saw him bring in Bernardo Silva, Leroy Sane, those players that can implement his styles of play. And he didn't do so well, obviously. This style of play needs to take some time. Then the next season, he takes the league by storm, completely smashing all records, destroying everybody in his path. Then next season, people begin to figure him out. They win by 1 point to Liverpool, and now this season, Liverpool have overtaken them. Adam, as always, we will be rating the likelihood of this happening out of 10. What are your thoughts?
I think his time at City is drawing to an end. But I think that Barcelona fired Ernesto Valverde. They've got Quique Setien. Certainly been performing better than Valverde. But I think he has to give it a while before he goes back to a new club. Of course, his mother unfortunately passed away with COVID-19, the killer virus that has stopped us from actually resuming and playing football. So I think that he should give it a while, but his reunition with Barcelona could work. They have some tremendously talented players. But we know with Pep Guardiola that talent is not always a good thing, as we saw with Zlatan and a couple of others at Barcelona. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 to start off with.
I'm going to give the same. And moving on, Adam, what do we have here?
So, as you may or may not know, Newcastle have been bought by Saudi Arabian owners. It is reported that the club is now worth upwards of 250 billion, which, in comparison to a famously very, very rich club, Manchester City, they are 10 times their worth. They have immense amounts of disposable income and are looking to bring in some stars. I think they're starting off with Gareth Bale just as their foundations, because they are not yet able to attract huge names to a club. I think they also need to replace their manager, but that is something else to be discussed. But so yeah, they're trying to bring in Bale, who has really decreased in form in the last few years under Zinedine Zidane. I think maybe in 2015, 2016, even 2014, I would consider him one of the he would be world class for me. Of course, no one's on the same tier as Ronaldo and Messi, but he was definitely just one tier below. Great player. I'm saying 7 out of 10. He's a good initial signing.
Yeah, we could be seeing the same thing that we saw with Manchester City that we've mentioned earlier already in this podcast. Man City were bought by Qatari owners. They were not a great team, and now here we are with Manchester City, such a great club. I think we could potentially be seeing that old Newcastle with the likes of Alan Shearer, that great team, and Newcastle could be restored to their former glory, which would be nice to see. Will they break into the top 6 next season? I think we won't see that because of, like we said with Pep, you need time to build your style of play, implement it, and think about the long term first, rather than rushing in and making mistakes. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Okay. Moving on, we have 2 youngsters, one of them substantially younger than the other, both midfielders, both linked to Man United. If you don't yet know who we're talking about, we are talking about Bellingham and Grealish. Theo, your thoughts?
Well, the high-flying Jude Bellingham is a 16-year-old who has had a very good season with Birmingham, and I think that a move for him would be good, but not yet. I think Jude Bellingham is simply too young. No matter how talented he really is, I think a move to the top flight is just a little too much too early.
Same here, Theo. You don't want to fizzle out at such a young age by going to a big club where you're not played. I'm going to give the move a 3 out of 10 for Jude Bellingham. Theo, you?
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 because there's always the possibility that he gets signed by a big club, and he's a bench warmer. He's always there on that bench, and he'll occasionally come on.
Okay.
Moving on.
What about Jack Grealish, Theo?
Jack Grealish, obviously, I think this would be a great move for him. Whether Manchester United is the move, I think, as I would say, the fish has outgrown the tank, and it's time for that fish to go into the sea and grow into a bigger fish, perhaps a shark or a whale, like Messi or Ronaldo, I'd say. Jack Grealish has outgrown his boyhood club, Aston Villa, who he once dreamed of playing for. He's simply too good for them. And I think, unlike Jude Bellingham, it's not too much too early. It's the right amount at the right time. It's time for Jack Grealish to go. Whereabouts? Is Man City the right move for him? Adam Galal, your thoughts?
I'm not going to lie. Manchester United midfield is so heavy. Yes, he is a great player. Yes, walk into any midfield. But with the likes of Fred who's had a great season, by the way, really drove the attack forward. Pogba, when he comes back from injury and regains form, is one of the world's best midfielders. Then you have the new signing Bruno Fernandes, who's been in scintillating form before the lockdown. Just to name a few, you have McTominay as well. Yes, I would say that Jack Grealish is definitely the better part of those, but I just don't see how he'd fit into the playing style. I reckon that he will not play with Aston Villa or in the Championship next season. He'll definitely get a move. Is Manchester United the right move then? I don't know. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm gonna, unlike Bellingham, I'm gonna be a little less generous. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. I think he's better off moving elsewhere, such as the likes of possibly Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City. I think even Tottenham would be a pretty good move for him. Manchester United is just too heavy in the midfield, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
Okay. Then we have the young prodigy, already one of the best footballers on the planet, the PSG sensation. Yes, it's Kylian Mbappe. He has been linked to the Reds and Los Blancos, but I feel like he's kind of tipped a bit to going to the Reds, and he is, and I quote, very flattered after his dad was called by Jurgen Klopp. There were no contract negotiations yet, but like you said about Grealish, the man is too big for the PSG tank. I'd say he's too big for many of the best teams in the world, but I think if Liverpool can get rid of either Sadio Mane or Mo Salah, they'll have lots of disposable income. With Mane linked to Los Blancos, I think that he could be on the way to the Merseyside Reds. He is definitely going to be a world record-breaking fee. I think he's on the way to winning several Ballon d'Ors in his future, and I think it's just really a matter of time. This window, the next window, but it's going to happen. I'm saying before the summer of next year. I'm giving it an optimistic 8 out of 10.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10 as well. The reason being that, with some transfer rumors we get one report and that's it. But with this one, it just it's unforgiving. It just keeps on. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's just there's no end to it, and the fact that there's no end to it means that there's a lot of evidence that it will happen. Therefore, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well.
Okay. Then we have the young holding midfielder Angel Gomez, who has been linked to Chelsea. Theo, your thoughts?
Yeah, Chelsea have said that they're confident in signing the young English outfit. He has the young Englishman has actually rejected a new contract from Manchester United, saying that he wants lots of game time. He wants to have a starring role in that midfield. Again, like we've said before, does Manchester United need another midfielder in the mix? They really don't. Is Angel Gomez good enough for that midfield? I really don't think so. Or at least not yet. And I think he will be in the future. Will he be able to wait that long? No, he won't, because he's not getting game time at the moment. But with clubs like Chelsea, Frank Lampard has confidence in young players, and he often chooses them over more senior players, which would be perfect for Angel Gomez, just to revitalize his career. I feel like he needs a fresh start. Manchester United hasn't been good to him, and I think Chelsea will do good things. Will be a really good club for him.
What do you think the likelihood of the move is, Theo?
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
Well, I think that he is a different player. He could be great, not replacement, or maybe alongside Jorginho in that he, like Jorginho, lets other players go do what they do, even though he's not directly involved. Of course, Jorginho has that fancy penalty technique, which has proved to be flawless for many seasons, but I think he is a great holding midfield player. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, actually. I think he cannot wait any longer at Manchester United. Otherwise, he will just waste those vital early 20s years of his career where he's developed into the great player that he may or may not become.
Yeah.
So moving on, Timo Werner, the great striker, speedy, prolific, he has it all, has been linked to both Manchester City and the London Blues. Chelsea. Theo, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is very interesting. A huge blow for the Merseyside Reds, Liverpool, as they have thought that they're the front runners for the move, and I thought they were as well until a few days ago, where Liverpool have cooled their interest in Timo Werner, and to be honest, Werner has cooled his interest in Liverpool. Does Liverpool have space for Timo Werner? I don't think so. In that case, they'll have to get rid of Firmino. And can they deal with that change in that legendary front three? Can they get rid of Mane and Firmino in the same season? I really don't think they can.
I was just say Firmino and Werner are two completely different players. Firmino's more of a false nine, and Liverpool, he's really a vital piece in Liverpool's attack. Even though he doesn't get the most goals, he is actually, I would say, the most important of the three. And I just don't think Timo Werner would fit at Liverpool.
Yeah. And it's been suggested that that Chelsea and Manchester United have gone to talks with Werner's agent. I'm going to give this move a 6 out of 10 for both.
Same here, Theo.
Okay. Moving
do you
on.
want to take us away to the next move?
I will. We are hearing there's news of a possible swap deal between Juventus and Chelsea. Those two players being Jorginho and Pjanic. Pjanic and Jorginho, I believe, are the same age, 27. And I think whether this is a good swap, they have similar style of play, but I think that Jorginho is slightly more conservative than him. And I think that Jorginho and Sarri want to reunite, and Pjanic could be on his way to London. I'm going to give this move a probability of 7.5 out of 10.
I don't know. I feel like we've seen this in a couple of swap deals recently. They deteriorate the players' careers greatly when they're in the peak of their careers. I'm going to give it a slightly less generous 6.5 out of 10.
Okay. Take us on to the next.
So, we have news that Manchester United, who was so keen to get the young Englishman Jadon Sancho's contract signed, have cooled their interest. I guess they feel like he's not the right move, or maybe they just no longer feel the necessity to sign the young winger. However, he is a great player in his own rights. I actually feel like United would not be the right move for him. So, for the sake of his career, I'm glad that deal didn't go through. So, yeah.
Yes. And actually, recently, Christian Pulisic has reached out to Sancho. He's also been talking to Chelsea's media, and he's talked about the similarities between him and Jadon Sancho, and possibly suggesting that he would like Sancho and him to reunite at the West London club. I think this would be a good move for Jadon Sancho. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Same here. I think another player who has outgrown Dortmund, I think Dortmund are a great club, but I feel like they're one of those round of 16 clubs confidently make it through the group stage of the Champions League, but they've, for a couple of seasons in a row now, been knocked out in the round of 16. And last, but by no means least, Leroy Sane, the fleet-footed German winger, to Bayern Munich. Theo, your thoughts?
Yes. So what we already know is that Leroy Sane has agreed personal terms with Bayern Munich. It seems as though he is very keen to leave this summer to the German Giants. I do believe that this will happen. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. In fact, I'm almost completely sure it's going to happen, as they just need to agree fee, and we're hearing news that Bayern Munich are plotting a 50 million swoop for him. And I think when Bayern Munich come knocking with that amount of money, I think Pep Guardiola will have to accept the deal.
I also think that apparently Sane has been on the phone to both the Munich president and manager. I think he is bound to go to the Bavarian club. It's clear that he's not happy at City with his injuries and being starved of game time. He's such a brilliant winger. I would hate for his career to slow down and fizzle out. It's clear that Pep Guardiola and City are favouring both Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling, even Riyad Mahrez over the young German winger. I think he is bound to go. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10, as there is always that chance that it might slip through the net.
Yeah, 9.5 out of 10 is pretty fair. I gave it a 10. Thank you for listening, everybody. In upcoming podcasts, you should expect a lot from a lot of news from the Bundesliga as it resumes tomorrow and Sunday. You should expect a podcast on Sunday or Monday. Talk with me and Adam talking about the results and analyzing those games. So thank you. Stay safe. Stay home. Protect the NHS. Save lives. We will get through this together. Adam, final words?
Indeed. I am looking forward to the return of football. Let's see what comes next. And with that, thank you for listening to our podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you, and goodbye.